forget. I'm gonna froze.
Well, just don't worry.
Just pretend
We're
we're
all
not
friends
here.
anyway.
It's
Remember, we
rehearsal.
chatted on the phone while Audrey was away, so he actually spoke.
Yeah, I
We're
sent a
friends.
call today and I was there, hello, and then I put on it, I don't know who. And then Audrey used my phone. She said, but you got her number stored.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna give you a little briefing of the. I'm gonna give you a little briefing of the garifuna culture. Actually, the garifuna is a mixture of the Araba Indians and the African people. They're exiled from St. Vincent by the British. Punta Gorda is one of the first communities founded from garifuna people. This is one of the first communities in Central America. This was established in April 12, 1797. The Garifunas got here, and this is where they made it home. So for Garifuna, in the Garifuna culture is a lot of food and a lot of music. So what are you going to be seeing right now is a side of both, food and music. So we're going to put our hands together for our Garifuna Flamingo Cultural Center performers. They're going to give you some dance and show you how they make the cassava bread. And it comes a very long, intensive labor process. What they do, they get together, they form like a group of women. They sing they party like for 2 days and make the cassava bread.
So the cassava bread is made out of the yucca root. That's a peeled yucca root. You guys came late, so you missed the first thing. But that's how the yucca looks when it's peeled. So the first step in making the cassava bread is to peel the yucca root.
Yeah, it's a root.
Yucca is what you
I eat it all.
call. Yeah.
I'm fine.
Cassava.
That's good about it. I cooked that up.
Cassava root, huh?
Yucca is those long brown roots that James.
Yeah, I'm gonna make some of that chowder. But
He's
I
got
make
the
She just said that's in the garifuna, that's called an eggie. And in English, you can compare it to a grater. So that's a wooden grater. You have a piece of wood, and there's holes inside of it. You make holes with a sharp object. And then when you fill this rocks, those are rocks that have been crushed and hammered into each hole, piece by piece. There's a smaller eggie, like a quarter of that size that we have. It took 6 days to complete, so can you imagine how long that would take? So each of those rock bits are embedded piece by piece, one by one.
With a hammer?
With a hammer, so sometimes they use a hammer or rock, whatever strong enough to,
Drive the pieces?
Yeah. And so the eggie is paired up with the bolu, because the bolu, in Garifuna it's called bolu, but I call it a bowl, because the shavings of the yucca root fall into the bolu.
Okay.
In garifuna, that's called a ruruma, and in English you can compare it to a sifter, drainer, a sifter, a filter. That's the word. No, drain, yes.
Okay, gotcha.
Because the shavings of the yucca are stuffed inside of there, and then it's usually hung from a piece of lumber or a tree for a couple of hours, and the water from the yucca is filtered out of there.
Yeah, that's starch. You know, that's for the truth.
Yep, yep. Okay, yep, totally get it. Which one of you guys made that?
None of us, we bought it from the mainland. From Trujillo.
I was gonna say someone put a lot of work into that.
Yeah. So we call this sifter number 2. Sifter number 1, actually, sifter number 1. And so after the yucca is dried, they take it out of this tool and they rub it on that tool to create the flour, to create the yucca flour out of it.
Okay. That's nice.
So we call this one sifter number 2 because as the cassava is cooking on top of a round metal sheet, we pick up some more yucca flour and put it on top of that tool, and in the circular motion, we just we add more flour. It just refines the yucca flour as it's cooking. So we call this one a dugalain garifuna, and I call it spatula number 1 because as the cassava bread is cooking, it's used to keep it flat, to keep it from rising.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It looks like good smooth. It looks like good pizza.
Yeah. So this is gararu and garifuna, and I call it spatula number 2 because since the cassava bread is so wide in diameter, some are even larger than 24 inches, you can't flip it with a regular spatula. So we use those 2 pieces. One piece is put under the cassava bread, the other piece is placed over the cassava bread, and then it's flipped over.
Like,
Exactly, exactly. Garifuna beisawa. We call it a room, and as the yucca is cooking, there's some of the yucca flour is some of the pieces of yucca flour is all over the round metal sheet, so they use that to clean it, to brush off the yucca as it's cooking.
what's it made of? It almost looks like coconut fiber.
It's
but-
oh man, I forgot this. Sorry.
No, that's okay.
It is. Oh man, I forgot. I'm sorry. I'm not even gonna make it up. And a leaf, right? Yes.
Yeah,
So
palm
what?
leaf, huh?
Yeah. They got it in
Palm leaf?
Yeah, it's a palm.
Okay, she's saying it's a leaf that's been dried. Pero como hacen para que es
Yeah, it's a palmetto leaf.
Oh.
And then it's
Yeah.
Why I know about it because I had a friend from Jamaica. They use it, but to fly.
Oh, really? Wow.
Same thing, yeah.
We all the same people.
Oh,
Wow. So that's based on what? So this is the last step. I call that a cookie cutter. It's libaha aru and garifuna, but it's just basically used to refine the edges and to cut the cassava bread in half before bagging it or storing it. So now they're gonna just show you how it's done, so you can imagine it more. So just imagine you're in the village. You have a couple of women together, and they're making the cassava bread. So usually you have one person who's passing the peels. She brings it.